All right, what's up with you guys? It is your boy West Coast, and we live in the building, man. How is everybody doing? How is everybody doing, man? It is your boy West Coast, and we are live in the building, man. And I'm about to have a great show today, man. I got a special guest, man. Special guest on here by way of Uncut Cowboys. I technically have three of us on here. Usually have my guy Landlord. He's gonna be on here in a little bit. And then I also have my guy HTM who's under the weather right now. So we're gonna make sure we keep him in prayers. But man, I got a mighty guest, someone I've wanted to speak with for a long time now, man. I've seen him floating around the stadium, floating around Dallas, and in training camp. You know what I'm saying? I've seen him floating around a little bit, and I wanted to have a chance to talk to my guy Tad Prescott. I wanted to speak to him a couple times, so it is a blessing and definitely a Cowboy honor. Definitely a Cowboy honor to get you up in here right now. And I think I like my boy Lant. Well, I see him beeping in a couple minutes. But yo, man, I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you're looking to my immediate right, there's a guy that he looks like that. He looks like a little bit. I ain't gonna say more wiser, Dak, but that beard. If you listen to me, if you want to know what Dak gonna look like in about 3-4 years when he get a little beard, here you go, right here to the right hand side, man. I got Mr. Tad Prescott in the building, man. We call him TP. What's up with you, man?
What's up, my man? Thank you for having me on, bro. I truly appreciate it.
Shoot, I appreciate you. Let me see if my guy Landlord, if I can hear him. Landlord, can you hear me?
Mike check.
Yes, sir. Tad, can you hear him?
Yeah, I can hear him.
Oh, look at that.
My channels ain't live though, man. Give me 1 second.
It's all good. Hey, we gonna
screwing me over.
Figure it out as we go. It's all good.
I'll be right back.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, my cable company is owned by some Eagles fans, so every now and then they slip in there and they mess up the technicals, and it just get real funny dunny out there. You know what I'm saying? But yo, while he figure it out, this is what I need y'all to do. I need y'all to go tell the nation, man. I need y'all to go tell the nation. Go tell the nation that TP is in the building, man. I need y'all to go tell the nation. I need y'all to share. If you love the Cowboys, I need you to give your 5 shares. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you believe in manifestation, what does that mean? That means I say it, I believe it. If I believe it, I receive it. Hey, there's some folks in the world that have made some big old churches after that. You know, I'm not knocking it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying if it'll work for them, why not us? You know what I'm saying? So you believe the Cowboys gonna win that 6th Super Bowl this year on this side of the 2024? I need you to give us 6 shares. Please share it with a hater, share it with a lover, and share someone that's telling you to stop sharing it with them. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I got my guy in here again. Landlord, you in the building?
We good, man. It won't let me go live on that because you live already. So
it's all good. Hey, it's all good. Hey, you know what? Sometimes you got to make and break and just get in there. You know what I'm saying? And just make it happen. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. But hey, we got some special people in the building. Also, let me switch this up around real quick. We got some special people in the building. They're called some supporters. Let me shout out some people real quick. What's up with you, Tamika? Appreciate you. What's up with you, Jameson Taylor? Appreciate you in the building. What's up with your Raymond Solace? Appreciate you. As I shout your name out, make sure you hit that share button, hit that star button. What's up with your Michael Trejo? What's up with you, my boy? And then we got about 190 people already up in here, so I can't shout all y'all out, but I want to let y'all know I appreciate y'all for knowing, for understanding the assignment. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all to keep your notifications live. When he say we gonna go, we gonna go. I don't give a damn if it's 3 o'clock in the morning. You hit me, say West Coast, I got 20 minutes. We going live. Have your notifications on because we are going. You know what I'm saying? So, Landlord, give your introductions, man, and let's get right to it, man.
What's going on, Landlord from Alabama, man? What's going on with the people? How you doing, Mr. Tad Prescott?
What's going on, my man? Nice to meet you. Nice to talk to you.
Nice to meet you too, man. We got some interesting stuff to talk about, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm ready to see what you boys want to talk about, what y'all ready to get into.
First up and foremost, man, because there be these crazy folks out here that be believing that like just because like your brother plays for the Cowboys, it means he's a Cowboy fan, man. He's a Cowboy fan. He doesn't really. Let's just kill that right now. You know what I'm saying? So when people come in here and be like, yeah, but he's not. No. Let's kill that right now. I want to know, man. Cowboys, Green Bay, final moments, man. What was your thinking as a fan? I don't want to know, but I want to know as a fan, how'd you feel, man?
Heartbreak. I mean, honestly, the same as all of y'all felt. The probably the same way I had been feeling for the first 3 quarters. Just trying to figure out what was going on, where were the adjustments, where was the offense that we had seen, the first 17 games of the season. More importantly, where was the defense that we had seen the first 17 games of the season?
Exactly.
And I had talked about it. Like I said, I don't put anything on the players. Unless you can pull up tape and see, direct lack of effort. I'll never call out a player. My true belief is as great of a coach as Dan Quinn is. I think he was already in Washington, man. I think he had already had his feet warmed. I think he already had everything planned out. And, I made a comment to some guys before, you see all these coaches, especially the guys that are deep in the playoffs, the Ravens, the 49ers. You don't think guys want to interview their coaches. You don't think there's teams out here that want those guys, for the success just as well as the Cowboys are having, but that they're having. But you don't see their coaches taking those interviews. You don't see anybody, they telling them, wait, well, you'll get me when the season's over. But for the second year in a row, we had Dan Quinn, for whatever reason, trying to find his way out of Dallas. And I think that's where we got hurt the most.
True. I do my sentiments exactly. When I said I had my conspiracy theories, my spider senses was tingling. I said I wanted to figure out when exactly are the other teams available, like able to contact the coaches. Yeah. Like during season. I want to know exactly when is that time. That threshold right there gonna tell me a lot. Is that, the same amount of time when our team start getting bad all of a sudden? Our defense start getting bad all of a sudden.
That's what it looks like because, again, like you said, you've seen the last 2 years that it's Dan Quinn's taking meetings before, the game. Dan Quinn's here taking the meeting before the game. And then, like you said, our team gets on the field and we're expecting this defense that we saw all year, and they just not there. And again, the guys can only, they can only put the plan on paper that the coaches give them. So, like I said, I don't know what Dan Quinn was doing. And the biggest red flag of it all was for Jordan Love to come on Micah's podcast and tell him, like, bro, we knew we were going to be able to do this against y'all. We looked up and saw what y'all had and knew we were going to be able to do this. So I know we had injuries at the linebacker position that forced some guys to play in positions that, maybe not their first position, but Dan Quinn's too good of a coach to just let us go out like that. Like I said, 42 in the playoff, that was tough.
Yeah, and then you got to think like this in that same interview. He's like, Jordan Love's like, didn't you guys have like DBs playing linebacker?
Yeah.
And he chuckled at like how when you bro, you let who cut your hair? Like,
yeah,
did what? Like, don't you know better?
And I think maybe at some point, like I said, when Leighton went down with that injury, we maybe should have went right then and started trying to see if we could find a true linebacker replacement for him. But I mean, like I said, those guys had held up really well without Leighton in the lineup. So I don't think it was a necessary push to go get something. I think our coach was, like I said, I think he was in Washington. I sit on that one.
Yeah, man. And I'm gonna tell you, it's crazy because, like, I knew that this, that game because a lot of fans, the typical Cowboy fan, they watch what the camera watching. The camera watches the ball and the quarterback, right? So everything is always judged and based off that. And it's like, I think 90% of fans in America that are Cowboy fans forget that Dak Prescott was down 7 points when he got on the field, when his feet touched the ground.
Before his cleats touched the ground.
Yeah, right before there was even a blade of grass that dirtied up them Nikes. I think he had some Jordan 1s on, high top joints. Before they even got dirty, Dak was down 7. So it's like, this is what I always try to explain to fans. Are like, yeah, but there's no excuse. You're right. There is no excuse. But I tell you this, when your team is only giving up 17.5 points at home, you're not practicing being down 7 in the first quarter coming out the gate. That's not something should you be equating for everything? Yes, Lord, you should. Yes, Lord, you should. Let's just be real. 9 games at home, teams have not done this to you. So it's like Mike Tyson say, everybody got a plan until they get what? Until they get punched in the face.
Mouth. Yeah. And then you say 9 games, but I mean, yeah, the 9 games and the 17 point. But I mean, what did that loss killed? How many straight home victories for us?
Bruh, I think it was like 13.
16 straight, I believe.
Something ridiculous.
It was something crazy.
Like you said, so not only that, like you said, not only expecting to come out down 7, but you to come down 7 in a building where you don't allow people to score. You had those scripted plays. Who knows how much of those plays got changed from going in saying, we're pretty sure we're gonna get them off the field. We're gonna be able to run this, get the ball moving with TP like this, and then like you say, West Coast, you come down 7. Who knows how many of those plays got scrapped off the playbook? Who knows if we stuck with where we were going or how that changed, how the momentum of the offense was moving.
Yeah, I think everybody was kind of in a state of shock at that point, though, because nobody expected the game to go that way. And I really do feel like Green Bay kind of caught us off guard, but at the same time, we was all expecting a better team to prevail after a while. Like we just sitting there waiting, like, man, we gotta we did get a couple of we scored like 10 points in a row, and then we got closer, and then the defense gave up another touchdown. So it was just a downward spiral of bad football back to back consecutively that just crippled us in that football game.
And I'm gonna tell you the thing that really showed where that defense was, man, is these touchdowns were not like hard work touchdowns, bro. Like
they weren't contested. Yeah, these guys were standing wide open. Besides the ones from Aaron Jones running in, I mean, like
bro, the
said,
tight end when the tight end when the tight end did that crazy one on the right hand, I just was like, bro, I'm out.
Yeah, that Luke Musgrave touchdown, that was a rookie tight end for one. And then it was the most open reception of the whole NFL season. Like nobody else, like literally. That was literally the most open receiver of that year. That's
and
crazy.
Our DBs are too great for that. They're not even good. They're too great for that. Like I said, the way DeRon Bland was playing, we all know Stephon Gilmore's probably gonna be in the Hall of Fame one day. I mean, like I said, that they don't do stuff to us like that. You can't beat us one-on-one like that with these crossing routes they're running. That's what it looked like they was playing Madden on all pro mode, just running crossing routes. And at the end of the day, somebody was butt naked waiting to catch the ball.
Yeah, so that's right there. That right there alone did have me looking at DQ with the side eye. I can't lie. I had my antennas up after that because I just don't see how you could be that bad. Like for us to get beat a couple of times, that's normal. Like everybody's gonna give up a little something, but for us to get consecutively beat, that was just bad, man. Nobody didn't even want to watch that. So I ain't gonna lie. Immediately after the game, I was mad at everybody. I was like, screw everybody. I was mad at Dak. I was mad at everybody. I was still mad at Zeke. I was mad at everybody. So yeah, I was mad, bro. I'm a Cowboy fan. I'm a real fan. So I had to sit back and watch the playoffs play out a little bit, to be honest. I had to watch it play out because I'm a big Dak fan, man. Dak is my guy. So when I seen the way the game was playing, I'm like, man, Dak got to do something. Like we got to figure it out. You see what I'm saying? But that was once I seen the way the rest of the playoffs played out, I felt crazy then because I'm like, man, what I was asking for Dak, I did this live on my channel. Like everybody seen me go through these ups and downs with this Dak Prescott and the way we performed in that game. So once I seen how the whole playoffs played out, I'm like, man, I'm asking Dak to do something that we ain't see Patrick Mahomes do. I'm asking Dak to do something that we didn't see Lamar Jackson do. I really had to take a step back and just be like, man, maybe I was a little too emotional on that one. Because I was mad at everybody. I'm not going to lie. Like, I was like, man, screw all of this. Because everybody should have been mad. That was a disrespectful, distasteful loss right there, man.
Yeah, like you said, everybody should have been mad. Everybody was mad, bro. Like you said, I mean, you sit through a 49ers loss, you're like, damn, that's a tough one. If we could have done that, his rookie year, the Green Bay loss, that was probably the most exciting game I've been to for him, period. But like you said, for this game, it's like you felt it. It's like the moment that the ball got kicked off and things weren't going the way the way they needed to, or the ball wasn't bouncing our way. It's like, man, this is not going to be good. You just sat there and knew this is going to be something bad to watch. And then, you get all the shit, and people, it's finally starting to come out. Like, guys got to realize, man, we had 42 put on us. Like, even if we score when we had the ball, like, even if we score in all of our possessions, they still outscore us. Like, we still lose that game. And that's why I look directly at Quinn. Like you just said, like, so they're going to get us every now and then, but where were our adjustments? Like, you're too good of a coach. We've seen you come out here and goose egg good teams, great teams. We saw when you had weeks and weeks of preparation for the Giants, whether you want to consider their season good, bad, or whatever. But when he had that preparation coming in week one, like, you saw what this defense was able to do. People were looking at Dak like, we might not even need you this year, Dakota, because this defense is going to be so damn good that you just have to, like, that's what they're saying. You just don't have to mess up. They were really telling Dak this year that all you have to do is not mess up because his defense is that good. And then it goes in, and these guys really together on both sides of the ball. This is one of the first years where you truly saw complementary football, where you saw the defense take this ball away and Dallas go score. You saw Dallas go score, and this defense get hyped enough to put a shutdown. Where when it came to that playoff game, we had none of that. None of it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you this right here. Like, I think it's a testament because I was in the building for that game, and I think it's a testament to that of to who 4 is to this nation is, bro. Regardless of the score, I was just like, some point, Dak is gonna do something.
Dak gonna do
Yeah.
something. That's what was so disappointing. I'm up there like, man, Dak gonna figure it out. He gonna make a play. He gonna do something.
Bro, like I just and I'm gonna tell you this right here. When you can have that in a player, a person, in a professional sport where these are the best athletes, these are not even the best athletes, these are the best among the best. You know what I'm saying? They still got starters and then second strings. You know what I'm saying? When you can have that amount of faith in someone, that is a different type of talent level. And I'm gonna be honest with you. You as a fan have recognized that Dak is different. Why? Because if you didn't, why would you feel that way? Now I'm gonna tell you what it is, because I'm gonna tell you this right here. And I can almost guarantee that most Cowboy fans, at least 90% of Cowboy fans, felt that way, right? The only problem is when Superman isn't able to go into a booth and come out and save the world every single time. There are some of us who are rational off and be like, dang, but he did serve us that one time.
Yeah, you ain't gonna win them all.
Yeah, like you can't. Even the Avengers got lost there. If I'm not mistaken, Thanos lost. I mean, Thanos won for a whole movie. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, fans, they don't know. I mean, and I get it, man. I get it. America's quarterback, all the faith being, all I totally get it. But it's like, I think fans, like, subliminally, they do actually believe that Dak is that dude, because if you do not believe that he's dude, how could you have those expectations?
I was gonna say, you can't demand greatness from something that you feel like ain't good. You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Hey man, I'm just sitting here letting y'all spit facts. Y'all preaching right now. I'm just loving it. I might go take some of what y'all say to bring it down to my homeboys. Let them hear it, because.
But I mean, this is my. Because
the thing is, bro, it's not that the expectations of him have fallen, and it's what has happened is guys like Pat Mahomes, as great as he is, he ruined the NFL because he won a Super Bowl in his second year, starting, because he won an MVP in his first year starting. You saw guys like Lamar, although he hadn't won the big game yet, you saw him win an MVP in his second year. So it's come now that's the expectation. The expectations of the Drew Brees, the Peyton Mannings, the Tom Brady's, waiting on these guys to develop and, giving them a few years to come along. That doesn't happen anymore. I mean, Dak and Matt Stafford are the last of that breed. I mean, they're the last of those guys that truly were among those guys coming out of college that was like, okay, let's let this guy sit. Let's let this guy develop. Let this guy lead. Now it's like we're drafting a franchise guy immediately to come start. And if he doesn't win us a Super Bowl, a playoff game, or qualify for an MVP in his second year, then he's ass. And we saw that with Justin Fields. And Justin Fields is going to go to Pittsburgh and learn so much under Tomlin, learn so much under Russell Wilson, that when we see him again, people are going to be like, damn, that's what it's supposed to look like, because it is. You don't have a Patrick Mahomes in every draft. We've only seen one Pat. So that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's where it's gotten ruined, is that everybody sees how, I mean, damn, look at his trajectory. He's a walking Hall of Famer, and he's only been in the league 6 years. But that's where everybody sees, is that his 6 years, his 3 Super Bowls, his 2 MVPs, and they expect that every franchise quarterback is capable of that. And that's what I tell them. If you look at Daks, going in a 9-year span in the NFL, there's been 4 quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl in that time frame. But we don't hear shit about the other guys that aren't getting there or whatever. It's just the America's team guy. He needs to be moved on from. He can't get over the hump. But everybody else is constantly being elevated over him. But he keeps winning. He keeps doing and elevating himself. Like you said, having those expectations that Dak's going to do something, because he is that guy. He is a franchise quarterback. He is a top 5, top tier quarterback in this NFL.
Hey, and I'm going to tell you this like this. I always use this example. Like, people are, ask someone who's a better cook, Big Mama or Wolfgang Puck, right? Mm-hmm. I figure like this, right? Wolfgang he a good cook. He got restaurants all over the world, right? But he also got the finest instruments. He got the best meats. You know what I'm saying? The best seasonings. He cooking with more than white boy, but he cooking with more than 11 herbs and spices. You dig? Like, he got them all. You know what I'm saying? He got, he got the little spindle. We can spin it. You know what I'm saying? It's all the little. You know what I'm saying? He got all that. You know what Big Mama got? She got butter. She got sugar. She got some eggs and possibly a little salt if she needed. And guess what? And a stove. And guess what? That cake is gonna come out just as good. Now, my question is this: who's the better cook? One would say, well, Wolfgang is a better cook. I would be like, well, dang, I think she's a better cook. Why? Because what if you gave Big Mama Wolfgang stuff?
Mhm.
And what if you and listen to me, as a Cowboy fan, I don't want to find this out. I don't. Why? Because
Yeah.
I'm the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So no, I don't want to find out what would Dak look like in an organization that
But you
truly
can't
supports
say
him.
that Dak only got some eggs and some potatoes over here. I mean, Dak has talent. Dak has some
He
real
do got he
talent.
got
I mean, he had more. He had more to work with this year than Pat had. So I mean, and we saw what Pat do. But that's where I say it
Pat
also
had a
goes to
defense
coaching.
though.
yes, that's
Yeah,
what I
Pat,
was
Pat had a defense.
we have a defense. The
in a
difference
run
with
game.
Pat's defense is Pat's defensive coach was locked in. Chris Jones and all them boys, because of the coaching staff, because they knew what they were doing, was locked in. Again, Dan Quinn was just off somewhere doing his thing. Like I said, I mean, honestly, would you really line up player for player? And I mean, we saw how great the Chiefs did in the playoffs, saw how great they did in the season. But player for player, do the Chiefs have a better defense than the Cowboys?
Player for player.
I say it like
know.
this. I'm saying player for player, no, but I would say this. They have the ability to stop the run, which I value more because the Cowboys, for whatever reason, are oblivious to stopping the run. Like we didn't value Dan Quinn. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. I say if fungu on Dan Quinn because, bro, you're gonna have to ask me this question some point in your life. How are you a defensive tackle line guru who don't value linebackers? Like I never understood that. And I'm gonna tell you and I'm gonna be honest with you. That's what I was actually saying. As far as I wasn't actually talking about like the players because I think I think honestly when you look across the board, the NFL the talent is pretty fair. You know what I'm saying? The NBA is lopsided. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But the NFL for the most part I think is pretty fair. But what it really goes down to is the willingness of these organizations. If Pat Mahomes loses something, bro, they're Johnny on the spot. And one thing I love about the Chiefs, they're not gonna care. Like, listen to me, the Chiefs, they love their backups, but you know what? Their backups work out with them every day. So you know what they say? We don't trust our backups.
We need better players.
We need better players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm saying. I don't think we trying to say that Dak don't have talent because we know he got talent. But what I will say is it seems like it's times where, we might lose a player or two and the organization just sit on their hands and don't do anything about it. Like this year is a prime example. Like just imagine if we had an aggressive GM like Howie Roseman. Like we ain't got to put Dak on another team.
Hey, be careful. The last time I gave Howie praise,
I'm just saying.
I was literally Tad. Look, listen, hold up. He the professional blogger over here, right? Look at him just making mistakes, right?
Nah, I'm just saying. Look, we didn't want to put Dak on another team. So how about you put another GM over here? You see what I'm saying? Just an aggressive player. I mean, aggressive GM. Somebody that's going out to go deal with the free agents and stuff like that. Like we don't see that in Dallas. We don't. We too sedated for free agents. That's a problem.
We've seen it once, and that was the year we went and got Amari. That was a big move for us. That was a big grab they went and got. And like I said, I mean, I did like the Gilmore and the Cooks pickup last year. Like I said, I wish they would re-sign Gilmore. I don't know what's going on with that or why not. But like I said, the one time we saw the big move was with Amari. And I'm with you. Like you said, I mentioned it. When Van Der Esch went down, we should have been looking for linebackers. I mean, we should have been. Like I said, if we have DBs filling in that role, I understand they're doing great. But like you just said, that when it comes to playoffs, you have to be able to stop the run. And Aaron Jones proved that against us. Like I said, we could not stop the run with whatever personnel we had on the field at any time. So, yeah, when he went down, we should have gotten one. But, I mean, like you said, you can't expect it because we've seen it. Like I said, I've been here 8 years, 9 years now. And like I said, it's not anything that we see. They believe in the way they draft. They believe in building from, their practice squad and so up. So, I'm not surprised anymore. I don't have the expectation that I'm going to. Like I said, I was shocked this year that Derek wasn't brought into the building, especially when you hear him say that he wanted to be in Dallas. When you hear Derek Henry say that he wasn't even called by Dallas, that's what kind of shocked me a little bit. But like I said, other than that, I'm not shocked anymore. I don't have any expectations that I'm going to find big free agents because I've seen how they work and I know that they believe in the way they draft.
A lot of this reminds me. It reminds me of like old way of doing business, like Blockbuster. 10 years ago, Blockbuster movie theaters, they had the opportunity to buy a stake in Netflix in the streaming industry. They ain't believe in it though.
Yeah.
Where's Blockbuster at now? Like, and that's what I say about the Cowboys. It's like, we have our, and I'm gonna tell you, it really shows you the power of the Dallas Cowboys, because we are really the only sports organization that really says, forget what everybody else is doing, even if it is doing it right. We're gonna do it our way. And I always tell people, the thing that sucks about Jerry is when he does it his way, he sells more jerseys. So it's like,
but and the thing I got, the question I got for y'all, because I mean, I'll be honest with y'all, like, I mean, y'all kind of called me out on it in the beginning. Like I said, I've only been a Cowboy fan for 9 years. I mean, I'm be honest with y'all, like, I was one of the ones that hated the Cowboys. Like I said, when Dak got drafted by the Cowboys, I told him I won't wear the star until you're the starter. I thought I would have a lot longer than I did, but ever since then, I am a diehard Cowboy, but I still know football history. So when did Jerry's way become not going after these guys? Because Jerry won Super Bowls going to get Deion Sanders. He won Super Bowls going to get Charles Haley's. I mean, he had in the past, you saw him pick up multiple guys. I mean, that's how we got a Pac-Man Jones. That's how we got these players over here. So when did his way become not going to get these guys? Because if you've asked me this 20 years ago, what's the Jerry Jones way? It'd have been being aggressive in free agency. So when did it become the Jerry Jones way to not be aggressive is what I'm asking.
When Stephen Jones took full command of, when I mean, I'm gonna tell you this right here.
More command, probably.
Of anybody that says hello like this, you know what I'm saying? You got to get that hair right first. Anybody that say, man, I'm just saying, man, you got to be careful, bro. You got to be careful. You know what I'm saying? Stephen Jones, he that different type of sneakies. He's just that deep. Like listen to me. I'm pretty good in these streets. I'm a good salesman, man. But I see Stephen Jones, I'm walking the other way, man, because I just feel like he gonna get me. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, this is one thing I will say about Stephen. He has created or not even just Stephen, the business of the Dallas Cowboys. We are in a performance-based business, basically meaning if you don't win, the fans don't come to the games, you don't sell tickets, nobody gets paid. That's how it's typically set up for everybody, right? You don't win games, fans don't come to stands, you don't make no money, it's just how it works. The Dallas Cowboys, no matter success or lack of success, ticket prices are going up. Yeah. And this is something I said. This is something I've been asking everybody, because we brought up the Chiefs. And after I say this, I want to actually kind of go in a different direction. But I want to ask this right here. I've always said this right here. If you were to take the Dallas Cowboys' success over the last 10 years and money and altitude and everything that they've done, success over the last 10 years, then take the Chiefs' success over the last 10 years, the money they've made, fans they've made, and the success they've Super Bowls, and you had Jerry Jones ask him which one would he take, to a degree, I still feel that despite the Super Bowls, he would still take the Dallas Cowboys.
But doesn't the Super Bowl victory get you more money?
That's what you would think.
It seems like it, yeah.
So that's where that's the only place I get confused with, and that's where I truly like. That's where Jerry gets me to truly defend him, because when people are like, Jerry Jones doesn't want to win because he only cares about the money, I'm like, I get what you're saying, but if he cared just about the money, the Super Bowl would be the only priority, because you would think winning the Super Bowl again, especially in the 2020s, 2000 area period,
social media,
you win a Super Bowl in social media, you win a Super Bowl in Dallas, Texas. Oh, like you said, you could just put NA on your ticket prices and tell us what they are when you get to the door, because they still gonna pay them to get in to watch the Dallas Cowboys last year's Super Bowl champs.
Yeah, I was just thinking, it gotta be kind of crazy to just, you his brother, so you just wake up. I get tired of seeing people talk about Daks, so I could just imagine you waking up and seeing this publication, this media source always got something to say negative a lot of the times about Tad Prescott. How you deal with that type of stuff, man?
So truly, man, the credit, and I'm sure y'all hear Dak give the credit to our mother for so much. The credit also in that goes to our mother, because like growing up, Dak didn't start off as a quarterback. And so I played defense. Our brother Jace played offense. Dak actually played defense, because the favorite thing for our mom, my mom said the favorite thing to watch her boys do was hit someone. Okay. And the worst person to talk about the quarterback on any of our teams was our mother. My varsity quarterback, as much as my mom loved him off the field, she would give him hell on Friday nights. I mean, just hell, to the point that when it became Dak's turn, she kind of got humbled a bit. And she sat down and told me, like, baby, you just got to realize, like, people are going to talk. I'm firsthand copy of that. And then so that's where I've gotten. As long as they keep it football, man, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I'll go back and forth with you if you want to keep it civil. You start going a little crazy, I'll back off of you. But you can say whatever you want as long as you keep it football. It's when they start going outside the realms of football, getting personal with it, especially for those like I know you don't know us. That's where I like my little angry bug goes in. But man, as long as they talk football, they're welcome to share their opinions with me, man.
Well, shoot, man, I got an opinion that kind of went crazy, man. And shout out to everybody that watched the video, man. I did two videos. One immediately after the loss of the game, I told the Dallas Cowboys you had to do one or two things. You had to either decide you either go in all on Dak or you need to go in on with the head coach. As of right now, the Dallas Cowboys have done neither because both of them are still in a 1-year deal. Crazy. Crazy what's happening in what is this? April 10th, 2024. The second thing I made a video on was, after I saw, my starting center who, it's crazy how when you lose a guy, you just start missing him, man. Like,
I was always a fan, to be honest. I really
I'm
was.
a fan of him now.
I think I had higher expectations for him when I saw him being drafted out of Wisconsin. I think that's what a lot of people got when they saw him coming out of Wisconsin. They expected Travis Frederick. And I mean, again, that man's a Hall of Famer. Like even with his career being cut short, he's probably going to make the Hall of Fame. So again, it's that bias West Coast. It's that we had greatness, like we had true greatness, and we tried to replace him with what we thought was a carbon copy of him. And even though he did well, he's not Tyler. I mean, he's not Travis. I mean,
yeah, that's some big shoes to fill, unfortunately. Yeah, but like you said, man, I hate that. We lost him. You don't know what you got till it's gone, though. But how you feel about going into this season with Dak got to replace 40% of his old line this year, man? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is crazy, but I mean, I know he can withstand it. Again, I watched my little brother. No disrespect to them boys, I love him. I talk to a lot of them, but I watched my little brother play, SEC at Mississippi State. He had to see Alabama. I'm sure who you're a fan of.
Oh yeah. Roll Tide.
So he's had some O-line deficiencies before, but I mean, he still has a Hall of Famer in Zach Martin on the right side. Tyler's, I bowed down to Tyler because when they first took him out, I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this kid. And man, that dude is an all-pro. So, Terrence Steele, he's working, he just got to get stronger, get back in those drops. So he's going to have that right side. But as long as we can figure out this center and this left tackle, I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they try to slide Tyler back to his original position at left tackle, or maybe they try to find a guard in the draft. So, it's just going to be something that we have to play out and see because I mean, as much as it's going to affect the quarterback, Dak is such a smart quarterback. He makes such great reads at the line that he can kind of get away from that. It's going to play more so, I think, into the run game, a run game that we were kind of missing last year. So I think that's the biggest part right now is that not only do we have to replace 40% of the line, we also have to replace, 50% of our backfield because as right now, we only have one running back on our team.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And it's crazy. And it's like, if you were just some, if you were a salesman for Dak, I say, damn, that's a good point to bring up because everything that you're saying right now, you know what that's called? Value. That's called value. And that's created value. Why? And that value and it's crazy too, because like the Dallas Cowboys, we are not, the NFL prevents it from being like Golden State where you can have, this ridiculous first string and then have this backup, that's also just as good as your first string. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, that's at least that's how Golden State was when I was watching the NBA. I don't watch it no more because the NFL is every day of the year now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But there's always gonna be a diminishment of talent between the starter and the backup, and it's like it is crazy to me how that does not like scare the living hell out of the Dallas Cowboys because it's like as a player on a football team, I knew, hey, the backup quarterback, that's my homeboy. But I know if I ain't gonna say if my boy Danny was playing, we was not in good shape, man, because we had so much faith in our starting quarterback. And it's like I made my last video I was telling you guys about is, I made this video. It was kind of a crazy take, man. And some people kind of gave me some backlash, but I was kind of one of the first people that came out and say, man, I didn't feel what the Cowboys were doing with this team that Dak should just instantly run down there and just sign. Because I feel that like, contracts are like, they're like marriages. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, she's marrying him, but him's also marrying her. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm marrying, because you got to think when you sign a contract, and I'm always thinking this, the expectations. How do the Dallas Cowboys treat players when they're not able to hit the expectation, regardless if it's injury or regardless if it's like, the player just kind of just had a down year? Some organizations, you get an injury, you know what? They'd be like, you know what? Don't trip. We're going to give you a year. You know what I'm saying? We're not even we're going to give you a year. We're not even going to start you week 1. We're going to give you a couple months to just ease yourself in there. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because they want to make sure that long investment is there. In Dallas, you haven't, and I'm gonna tell you, you brought up a really good point, Tad, because this is a culture shock. This is a culture change, I would say, in Dallas, because you are starting to see players that be injured, get injured, come back early, and then still have those lingering things. And then guess what? Look how the Cowboys treat those guys those following years. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I'm Dak Prescott and I'm seeing all these things going along, I'm also telling myself, and I know fans don't want to hear this, but hey, this is the human side of the actual sport you guys play. Like, fans, I think sometimes a player is only human when they get hurt. Like, realistically, that's the only time that they feel a player is human. But this is another human side, and it's when they have to make these contracts and when they do these things. So it's like, if I'm Dak Prescott and I know I've seen the Cowboys sign other players to contracts, and for whatever reason the Cowboys don't create a team or whatever this is, they're not able to hit those expectations, man, the Cowboys they're vicious, bruh. And I know the league is like that, but the Cowboys are vicious, man.
So okay, and I'm just trying to stay with you. So are you more upset that the Cowboys, when they're dealing with an injury, they don't look to immediately try to not replace that player, but find help for that player in free agent, maybe see, especially if it's a long injury, until that player gets back? Or are you upset because you think then that Dallas unfairly treats them once that player has been injured?
What I'm saying like this: there's no empathy for the player.
See, I don't see that, and see, that's where I push back on people with some. See, like I said, and I'm not a big Dallas Cowboy defender. I'm really not. Like I said, I mean, anybody who truly pays attention to anything I post or tweet, I'm sure they know that.
Facts.
But I don't agree with that they don't have sympathy for the. I mean, my little brother got paid after being injured. Okay, we saw D Law, same thing. D Law was dealing with an injury, had a great year, kind of dealt with an injury, got his contract. We see right now how long Leighton was a phenomenal linebacker, but Leighton probably should have retired last year just for his health reasons.
Facts.
We saw how they kept Leighton and held him on. They drafted an injured linebacker with Jaylen. I mean, like I said, it was a price pick or a price conservative pick because, of course, without that injury that he sustained in that bowl game, he was probably top 5. But they still took a linebacker in the second round that was dealing with an injury that we didn't see for a full year because we didn't know if he'd even play again. And now there's talks that they might draft the running back from Texas. Again, a guy coming from injury. So I think they're very sympathetic to injuries. We got Daks coming off an injury, same thing. And we have heard nothing bad, which we should hear nothing bad spoken about Daks, but he's dealing with his injury, and we didn't hear anybody try to bring his name bad up. I actually think they're very sympathetic to their injured players, especially the guys that have put in work for them. It's the other ones now that, like I said, the guys that are in the second year, or maybe the guys that was on the team that they didn't draft or that they picked up and drafted, maybe they're not as nice with them. But as far as the guys that they drafted that truly put in work for Dallas, man, I truly believe Dallas takes care of those guys in the long run.
What I was kind of saying is if they kind of like a situation like Michael Gallup, right? Michael Gallup got hurt. They still paid him, right?
Yeah, he got paid.
But what I was saying is the empathy didn't come in the next season. When
we had a bunch of young receivers they was trying to work, and I get you on that. And then but do you feel like NG was rushed back, or do you feel like he was given time to come back?
I believe he was rushed back.
So basically, you saying you feel like they don't give him the grace after the injury.
Well, yeah, and it's like, this is what I say. I say that players in Dallas, when you sign contracts with the Dallas Cowboys, you should protect yourself by all means necessary. That's what I'm saying. Because if injury or no matter, and that's just, and I would say that's pretty much with any team. But when you sign contracts with Dallas Cowboys, they are very, very concerned with that first year. You know what I'm saying? Getting their return on their investment that first year. So that's why I was saying, if I'm Dak Prescott and they're trying to sign me this, give me this, and listen to me, anything he signs is 100% what he deserves and what he has earned. Because remember, this is not a contract for what they think he's gonna do. This is a contract from based off what he's already done. Okay, so this is something he's already earned. My thing is, what I've seen with the Dallas Cowboys is, they will say they'll make Dak Prescott highest paid quarterback, right? But then they won't give him the tools to supplement to support that. Like you gonna make him the highest paid quarterback, but then you're gonna get rid of 40% of his offensive line. Then you're talking about not you don't know if you're gonna pay your starting quarterback. I mean your starting wide receiver. Like why would you? My thing is this: if you're gonna put the natural, and then people forget that there are natural like pressures that come from having big money that people don't talk about. You know what I'm saying? I know there's gonna be those natural pressures that Dak has from having the money anyway. And then you don't want to like make it easier for him. That's why I'm saying that I see the difference between like the Kansas Cities. Like, bruh, Kansas City made Patrick Mahomes the highest paid quarterback in football. And you know what they did? Went and got 2 new left tackles on the left and the right, went out and just got a bunch of stuff to support that decision.
So, and that's where you need to get angry, because that is where I do get like, I guess, angry with the Cowboys, because we don't see any of those things added. We don't see those pieces when they pay Dak, because then we hear, well, Dak's getting paid too much, or that we got money to this guy. We got money to this guy. But it's like, well, what is the difference between the way Dakota's contract was structured versus Jaylen Hurts or Pat Mahomes or this? Because Jaylen Hurts' cap hit, although he's making more money than Dakota, is under $50 million until 2029. It's like, how did you do that? You know, and then the same thing with what's his name, Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson's cap hit this year, I think, is almost $6 million more than Daks.
He getting guaranteed money.
Yeah, and nobody's talking about in Cleveland how they don't have money to make moves or keep Myles Garrett happy or bring in these pieces. So it's like, if you're going to be upset with the contract, it's like we need to be upset for whatever reason how these contracts are structured, where these cap hits place in, or where that goes. And again, I'm not an agent. I'm not claiming to be smart enough to even have the education to understand what goes into that. But what I don't get is like, it seems like every other 31 teams in this NFL, some way or another, the cap doesn't matter to them, or it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
You know, it doesn't exist when they need a player. But for us, we seem to always could use a player, but we never have the money to get one.
I gotta ask this question though, because I'm looking at it. West Coast brought up a good topic where he said, you know, Dak will be marrying the Cowboys too. That's what the contract is. It worked both ways. So I'm sitting back thinking, like, I would love to know how Dak feel about some of these moves. Because, you know, we do have a lot of people that speculate different ways about Dak Prescott. Is he a company man? Is he a stand-up guy? My argument, I believe he stand up, because I don't think men will follow a company guy like they follow Dak. But I do want to know, like, what you think about how Dak probably see some of these moves, because we sit back like, I wonder how Dak felt about letting Tyron Smith get out the building. You know what I'm saying? I wonder how Dak felt about letting Amari Cooper go. Like, I guess what I'm asking is do you feel like he's more of a spectator, or do he got some say-so in some of these moves or something?
That's a good question for me, Alabama, and I swear to God, I wish I could answer it for you. I wish I could answer it for you, because at times I go to my little brother and the same thing. I'm like you. I'm like, do you say these things? Do you ask these things? And that's what he tells me. Like, he is such a stand-up guy that he truly tries to separate himself from that business part in all fashions of it. Like I said, if he has a gala or something like that, or you know, there's a big event for the Cowboys and him and Jerry Jones start to be in face-to-face. Of course, they have their face-to-face. They have a good relationship outside of the business. And I'm not saying the business relationship is bad. I'm just saying when it comes to business decisions, he has an entire team that he lets handle that. So, I mean, but if you're going to sit here and ask a guy who immediately had chemistry with Amari Cooper was at his house almost every other day playing chess with me, playing chess with our uncle, hanging out with our friends, going through the route with him, running routes. Was he a little upset when that guy was let go? I'm willing to say yes on that.
Yeah.
Was he a little bit upset when his best friend 2-1 found out, you know, that he was losing him? I know he was upset by that, but again, he's upset at the part of that he's losing great pieces and great friends, but at the same time, he'll tell you, man, I understand it's a business, and they got to do what they got to do. The same thing with Dalton. Dalton was also one of those Cooper guys. That's what I'm telling you, man. Like, these guys will tell you, you've never heard anybody come out and say anything bad about Dak. Guys that play with him now or guys that have moved on. No. Amari Cooper could have went on a shit show of Dak if half the things about Dak were true. Dalton Schultz went straight to Houston and didn't say anything bad about Dakota. Those guys were at his house all the time. CD's at his house all the time.
They actually talk bad about Dallas.
Yeah, you feel me?
Cole Beasley talking great about Dak right now.
And that's what
over
I
Josh
do.
Allen.
And that's what I do. I talk bad about Dallas, and I don't necessarily talk about that about Dallas, the franchise. I talk bad about the fans that come at me crazy because again, when you see these guys, man, like I said, I've been to Halloween parties with these guys. These guys are true friends, especially his offensive guys, his receivers, his running back, his tight ends, his practice squad tight ends. These guys are at the house running routes 2-3 hours, and then afterwards we're having crawfish bowls, we're having sit downs, we're playing cards. Like these are real friendships being built. And I mean, I'll tell you, shit, I was mad when Amari left. I'm still mad Amari's in Cleveland. Like, why is Amari in Cleveland? He's mad he's in Cleveland. You know, I was mad when we let Said go to Miami. It's like, why we let Amari and Said? See, and that's the one time that I did get real pissed off is that we let Amari Cooper and Said Wilson go. We replaced them with two guys that never touched the field. I can't even remember the guy's name from Pittsburgh that we brought over, but I know he never touched the field.
See, that's where it really makes you frustrated because we know that Dak is a real competitor. He want to win. He ready to do whatever for the team. But it seems like it be moments where like Dak, we might need you to stand on the table for this guy. Like, don't let this guy go out of here, man. Because I really feel like he do got a voice in there. He got to. He the quarterback. They got to listen to something he got to say. You see what I'm saying? So it seems like at times we be like, bro, Dak, come on, man, fight for this one. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, it's only so much power he got to have because at the end of the day, Dak can't do nothing about his negotiation in his contract. He can't do nothing about that, but he can mention like, hey, I would like to keep this guy around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, not with you, but what they go straight to with Amari? We can't pay you $20 million a year, and then every wide receiver contract after that exceeded $20 million plus.
Yeah, and Thad, I'm gonna tell you this right now, man. You my homeboy, man. We friends, man. I'm never gonna tell you to take some money that's gonna devalue you, bro. Friends just don't do that, friend. You know what I'm saying? If we can't work at the same Walmart no more, we just can't work. I'll come by your spot. We kick it in the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but you gotta do what you gotta do, Thad, because you got kids, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what real friends really like. I would never tell my friends to take less money for the Dallas Cowboys. I just would not. Like Jerry just put on a whole new armoire on the back. And you like it just, and it's like you got to think
they redoing the suites right now.
Yeah, and think about this. If you're in, your friends also know the fights that you're in with the organization. You know what I'm saying? I remember Ezekiel Elliott said something that was very, very powerful when he was talking about his time in Cabo. He said, "Hey, did anybody reach out to you?" He said, a really important person on the team, player, reached out to me and said, "Stay in Cabo as long as possible." I'm like, I wonder who that was. You know what I'm saying? Great friends, friends are going to support friends' good decisions, man. And that's like, if you were making those decisions like Amari Cooper, like I get it. If I was in the crazy thing about Amari Cooper, backstory, they try to say we ain't had no money. As soon as Amari Cooper got there, first thing he did, what did he do? Restructure his contract.
His deal.
Like $5 million.
That was all by Suda. That was not true. We already know that.
But I will say this. Listen, if Dak, because sometimes you only got you only got one or two good fights. You know what I'm saying? If Dak can't fight the fight of players and all that other stuff, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Leave that to them. But I want to know how much fight do you because you know your brother's person, his personality, right? And you know him. I want to know, like, in not necessarily just the play calling, but the offense itself. Do you still feel that this is an offense? And just think of your brother's personality, who he is, what this offense is. How much of this offense is really your brother, and how much of this is us kind of like still? Because when I see Patrick Mahomes, you know what I see? Everything. Like, listen, everybody on the Patrick Mahomes offense is a benefit to him because he's the one throwing you the ball. He's the one you got to block. Everything is balanced off of him. I want to know, what do you see this offense? You know your brother's demeanor. How much of this offense is your brother, man?
I mean, I think it's all him. I mean, I really do. Like I said, I see, especially during the season, you see, I mean, I won't see my brother until game days during the season sometimes because of how much work he spends with Mike McCarthy going over the stuff he likes, what he wants to do. And then I think a lot of people tend to forget because they were so ready and willing for whatever reason to get rid of Kellen. Like, they forget this was Dak's first year under Shoddy. This was a whole new offense. Like, nobody talks about that. Like, this was an entire new offense that he had to come out there and learn, and you saw how great he put in it. So, like I said, how if this offense wasn't 100% him last year, I guarantee it is this year.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, because it don't take him 2 years to learn something like that. I promise.
I was just about to say, in comparison, from what we seen from some of the frustrating moments we had with Kellen Moore, I think that's interesting. Like the way you spoke to the relationship that him and Mike McCarthy got, because Mike Ben said that this is Dak Prescott's offense. Now, this is the first year that he's been under this offense, though. Like technically. And they really robbed us for a couple of years, because it's supposed to be his 4th year. Honestly, you should have let Mike call the plays when he first got here. We probably would be having a masterful offense by now. You know what I'm saying? But that is interesting. Could you give us a little insight about, Dak Prescott relationship that he got with Mike McCarthy, what you can get from him?
Oh man, he loves Mike. Him and Mike love each other. Period. I mean, they play jokes on each other if he catches. I mean, we pulled up at the facility one day, and I mean, he was going to see if Mike's truck was unlocked, because I think he was going to try to figure out if he can move it somewhere else. Like, I mean, and we'll just be sitting there chilling, and you'll see it on his phone. Coach Mike, like Mike McCarthy's talking about this. He's talking about this. I mean, they talk about anything and everything, and it's not just football. I mean, again, honestly, I hate to say it, I'll admit it. I'm almost 95% sure Mike McCarthy knew my little brother was expecting a child before I did. I mean, like, that's how close they are. And again, it's not that I felt like spite of that, but again, people forget that those men aren't just together on Sunday for those 4 hours. Like I said, I don't see my brother some days during the season because he leaves his house at 6 a.m. and he doesn't get home till 8 p.m. And I can promise you, from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., Mike McCarthy's in the building with him. Shotty's in the building with him. So that's how close these guys are. Those guys, that's their second family. At times, it's their first family. So for them to be as close as they are, like I said, they really are close.
It's interesting you brought up Shotty, though, because I ain't gonna lie, us as Cowboy fans, listen, please speak about him, because us as Cowboy fans, we like, what is Shotty doing? What is he doing?
We don't really know much about him. And I promise you, if you put him in a lineup, the average Cowboy fan wouldn't know who he was and if he worked for the Cowboys.
Man, Schottenheimer, that's my guy. Like, I truly enjoy that guy. Like I said, and I loved Kellen. Like I said, Kellen and I had our conversations, but it's like, when you see Shotty, it's like you said, man, if you line him up and you just had a conversation with him, you wouldn't know he was a coach unless you were as educated as he is to speak that football with him. Other than that, Shotty fixing to pull you out there. If you got a basketball court, which Dak has his house, like, that's what he and I were doing. We're out there having 3-point contests. He's out there joking with his fellas, calling his teammates out. I guarantee I'm fixing to bust your ass. Like, and he's gonna do it. Shotty got a little
Shotty one of the guys, huh?
Yeah, Shotty got a real jumper on him. Like, he gonna turn that hat backwards and he's ready to go to work. Like, he's really one of the fellas. He really is.
That's what's up. Like, I got a couple of more questions, man. I seen a couple of. Let me know if I'm right or wrong, because the media is very facetious. They'll get you. The headlines will get you. Let me know if one of these quotes is right. I know I seen you say Jaylen Hurts was a running back. Did you say? I seen you say that he was RB1.
I said that, and I'm not gonna necessarily say I stand by that, because I was poking fun. Again, I am a quarterback
Cowboy fan.
I'm a Cowboy fan. They gave me a little opportunity to poke.
You never got to explain yourself saying nothing bad about the Eagles. Don't even.
That's what I'm saying. So I poked at the Eagles when they gave me an opportunity. I give that man all the credit in the world. He is the face of the Eagles. He's earned his way up there. But in my true opinion, he's a one-read quarterback, and I've been saying that. I've been saying that. And when Jaylen comes off his first read, it's tuck and go. It's tuck and go again. And you saw that as much as with this year, because, the rookie quarterback in Indianapolis was having a great year before he got injured, because Richardson, because who's their head coach now? The former OC of Philly. When they got their new OC, he had to learn a new offense. It became more of a read. I know Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson was Dak's quarterback coach at Mississippi State. He's more of a read type offense. You saw that kind of disconnect start happening. You saw him and A.J. Brown start having their fights on the sideline. You saw he had the most turnovers he's had as a starter this season. So, that's where I went with that. Like I said, if you compare his best year, and again, that's something else I don't want to take away from him, but when people try to say all that, they try to shit on Dak or whatever and try to put Dak below this, it's like y'all are holding Jaylen's 1 year above Dak's consistent years of work. Like, Dak's never had a losing record. Even if you were to take Jaylen's best year, where you had him at the MVP, hold that next to Dak's rookie year. They're almost identical. Right. If Dak's not in better stat, the only part that Jaylen outleads Dak is he has 6 more rushing touchdowns than Dak. So if you want to get mad at me for calling the man a running back, you can. But that's just it's my
opinion. Them my sentiments exactly.
Man, I need to know, man, because I know a lot of fans, and not just even myself, man. Like, Cowboys came out with this thing. They said, Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott. They didn't technically say Dak Prescott, and that's why I had to. You gotta when these ever headlines come out, you gotta like really read them. Then you gotta read them again.
Okay.
Because the headline says, the Dallas Cowboys feel that it's mutually agreeable that they're just going to play this season out on this 1 year deal worth $59 million. And I'm like, when I first heard it, I was like, dang, why would you agree to that? Why? I'm thinking in my head? I'm like, wait, time out. They said the Cowboys. It's two people in this relationship. Because I'm thinking like, how it, whether he agreed to it or not, but I'm still thinking like, I was always, Charles Barkley said this quote to me, and I didn't to me, he said it to the nation. He said, great players, there's no benefit on playing on 1 year deals. You know what I'm saying? Now, he said that 10 years ago when players weren't making no $59 million. It's a totally different world. But still, if I'm the Joneses, I'm looking at myself like the last time we had a quarterback on a 1 year deal worth anything over $25-30 million, he played 5 games. And that was guaranteed. Then you put yourself in a position to lose that quarter, to lose it. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. Look in the camera right now. I'm going to tell you, you're dumb if you don't think that there's a team lining up right now to take your quarterback as soon as he's available next year.
Yeah, it is. It's several of them actually.
And I've made videos.
And that's why I'm reading these. I'm reading y'all's things every now and then. Somebody, I don't know if they're talking to me or you, talking about stop selling Dak to the Cowboy fans. He's done in Dallas. I've said it on my Twitter. If that's how y'all feel, if that's how the Jones feel, fuck it. Like,
I
excuse my
sure
language.
said it.
Like, I'm good with it. Like I said, the city of Dallas, the organization of Dallas has been great to both my family and my brother. But if they decide to send him somewhere else, if y'all fans really want him going, I remember again, I was a Cowboy hater. I remember what y'all looked like before Romo. I remember what y'all looked like even a few games with Romo. So I know the gaps there were. So, we can play that whole game. Oh, if he was with another team, he would win this, he'd win that. Everybody can say that about their player. But I mean, truly, y'all would be so upset if Dak DeMarcus Ware's y'all, Anthony Hitchens y'all, all these great players that we had in our building that left and won a Super Bowl somewhere else. Y'all would be sick and back in my inbox mad at me talking about, I can't believe you made your brother leave. I can't believe you made your brother hate Dallas. No, I didn't do this shit. You did it.
Exactly.
So that's where it is.
I was just about to ask that's a perfect segue to the question I had.
This man is officially cooking. I just want to let y'all know.
He is.
The kitchen is officially open.
And we're finna keep it right there on that same dish. I was finna ask you, gut feeling, do you look at this like a last dance for Dak in Dallas?
Man, I do and I don't, Bam, because I'm really in a situation where I'm stuck. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm normally like, I'm not 100% in the loop, like with all this information coming out, but I have a pretty good loop. And before all this, my loop was letting me know, and like I said, my loop is up there. Like some of them fuckers on FS1 and ESPN was telling me, bro, this deal's done. This deal's done. Hey, they just gonna push it past, I think the February 10th deadline or this and that. And here's the reasons why. Hey, we're writing an article about the Cowboys, signing Dak, but they're gonna do it after this. And then, you started the news at West Coast there, where it's like, oh, well, they're gonna go on this last dance thing and they're gonna do this. And then so I reached out to a few of them, like, what's up? And they're like, oh no, bro, it's still good. Like, trust me, the deal's gonna get done. And now they're in limbo where they don't know. So, and Dak still says, of course, Dak wants to be a Dallas Cowboy. So, his mindset is the deal's going to get done. And I don't think he's heard anything other than that. But, for me, I'm all for it. Like I said, I support that kid 100%. So if he's a Dallas Cowboy for life, I'm a Dallas Cowboy for life. I know a lot of you people listening to this, that probably just pissed y'all off that y'all might have to look at me for the rest of the time Dak's in Dallas or whatever. But if he leaves, like you said, man, there's other teams. Like you said, you're stupid as fuck if you don't think there are other teams out here that want my brother. And I can prove that by the fact that just go listen to other players in this NFL like Najee Harris. Najee Harris was interviewed after the season where they asked him who gets the most hate in the NFL. Without hesitation, that man named a quarterback on another team that wasn't his, named his stats, named how often he wins, and said there aren't other 32 guys like that in this league. He's directly speaking about his team. at that point, whether he said the quarterback on his team or not. He's directly telling you, I want a guy like Dak. I wish I had a guy like Dak in fucking Pittsburgh. So for you to be out here thinking that there aren't guys out here, Sean Payton said a few years ago when he was still in New Orleans, I had to pull interview. And I wish I had it for this. I wish I knew we were going to talk about this. When Drew Brees was trying to figure out if he was going to stay or retire, and they were pushing Dak through the franchise tag, they had an interview where Sean Payton said, I'm waiting to see what happens with the quarterback in Dallas.
Like, I ain't gonna lie, that's one place I would never want to see it, but that's one place that sound like it'll
New
work.
Orleans? Oh, trust me. I used to be against it. Our brother Jace was a huge New Orleans fan, and then people started sending me these outfits of him in New Orleans. I'm like, oh, he kind of look good in that black.
I'm telling you, I can see it.
Thinking like we're from Louisiana. Yeah, that's the scene. And then not only that, he played football in Mississippi. Mississippi don't have an NFL team, so it's split just like they are with Mississippi State and Ole Miss. They're split between Tennessee and New Orleans Saints. So he's immediately going to receive that love. And I know people tell, and I use that with the Dallas fans all the time. They're like, oh, well, there's crazy fans in every fan base. I know that. And again, I haven't experienced it from the other 31, but bro, I be getting some wild shit from y'all. Like
it's a lot of us. It's a lot of us, Tad. We can't be responsible for some of them, though.
No, I know. And that's why I don't hold on. And that's why when I speak, when I type, I try to be very specific and to the point. And somehow the tree still gets lost in the forest because everybody reads my words and then they go to making their own statements, their own beliefs out of it. I'm like, guys, I'm not somebody to hold my tongue. I am the oldest of 3 boys, raised by a single mother who was put in charge of her household at a young age. Like, I speak the way I feel. I'm not going to bite my tongue. I'm not going to try to make you feel good about it because, one, I'm not trying to keep up with a lie. So, like, what's coming out of my mouth is the fucking truth, and you can take it for how it is or how it isn't. So, like I said, when I say what I say on Twitter, I mean it. If I was to ever call out a player, I mean it. But I'm honestly in a situation where I don't need or want to do that because I know the limelight that's on me. So I don't have to blast a player for other people to say it. And nine times out of 10, I'm going to see that player way more than anybody who's going to read my tweet and be like, oh, I can't believe Tad said this. And these guys here in Dallas know. They know me. They know TP. They know Tad. Like West Coast say, they know I will tell them how I'm feeling about them. And I've never had a bad conversation with anybody on this team, man. They're all love.
Yeah, and I mean, this is what I always say about the Dallas Cowboys. Is like, you know, the first rule in the game is protect thyself. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the Dallas Cowboys, they make it look obvious, bro. They make it obvious. Like in the football season, it's team like a mug. It's the team. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you, I did an experiment. I want you to Google Micah Parsons right now. Just Google Micah Parsons. Just Google the name.
Bro, I was gonna bring this up.
There is nothing positive.
No.
For at least 3 pages. And I'm gonna tell you, most of the stuff is coming from Dallas. 103 the fan.
See, there it is. That's what you're about to. That's what I was trying to get up. 103 the fan. See, again, when we read these things, besides, I don't think Jerry Jones has ever gone on TV and lied, like, especially not intentionally. Like, I think Jerry Jones goes on there and says exactly what he means and what he feels. And I think if there was a case where Jerry Jones felt like this was the last year for he and Dak, I think we would have truly heard it out of Jerry's mouth already. I think it is the Dallas media, whether it's 103.5 The Fan or whoever it is, that pushes these. And it only seems to happen when these superstars are up for their money. Again, when Dak was here, Dak was not supposed to replace Romo, and then he did. And, oh, he's the next Peyton Manning. He's the rookie of the year. Look how great and fantastic this guy is. And then he hits that time where it's time to pay him. And it's like, okay, I've done everything right to get paid. Well, I don't know. Now Dallas is saying this. Again, we never heard Jerry say this. It was always the reports. Dallas is saying Dak, we don't know about Dak. Dak, we don't know about this. And now it's Micah. Same thing. For the first 2-3 years of Micah's career, all we heard is he's the second coming of Lawrence Taylor. He's this, he's that. He's a walking Hall of Famer. He's this. Now it's time to pay the man. And it's, well, Dallas doesn't know if they're sick of Micah's attitude and Micah's antics in Dallas. And it's like, when have we heard anybody say Micah was a bad teammate? I've hung out with Micah. I've seen the way Micah hangs out with his teammates. Micah plays basketball. He goes bowling with his teammates. He goes and watches a movie with his teammates. When has anybody ever come out and said they had a problem with Micah's attitude? And now we get these anonymous sources out here saying that Micah's a problem. Like, bro, again, it always seems to happen around with these superstars and when it's time for them to get their money.
Hey, I tell you, campaign and hired guns. That's what I look at them like.
This is the best core of Cowboys stars they've ever had. bro, there's nobody getting in trouble. Everybody's going to practice. Everybody's kissing and smiling with
Knock on
baby.
wood for a minute, though.
Knock on wood, knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
I'm just saying, even if like you had a one-off here and there, if you would look at your core stars back in the 90s, it was your core stars that were getting in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Michael Irvin, what the hell you got at the White House?
Oh, Playmaker told me to my face, he's so glad they didn't have social media when he was playing.
If you don't know,
I've been out of the league.
Hey, late about 3:00 in the morning, Google Michael Irvin in the White House, and then you thank me later. You know what I'm saying? Crazy story. You know what I'm saying? He told Jerry Jones he was trying to do a right thing. He was trying to do a right thing by something very wrong. You know what I'm saying? Look at a really good story though. But this is that's what I be saying, like, bruh, like your quarterback don't do nothing but hang out with his girl and his kid, and that's it. In regulatory stuff. Your CeeDee Lamb, who knows? The craziest thing you've seen with CeeDee Lamb is a moment at the draft where he took a phone.
Yeah.
That's the craziest thing. Micah Parsons is with his kid. Listen to me. If Micah Parsons is on the field, I know you could probably find out most of the time where Micah Parsons is. You want to know why? Because he's either on live podcasting or he's on live playing Madden. Like, bro, these dudes are not, they're like, for the first time, Jerry got that aspect right, because you got high quality individuals who give you high quality talent. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm from the hood. That's not how it usually works. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, man, you got this. This is what you want to market. Bro, Dak is the guy you want to be the face of your franchise. Why? Because he's going home every night, bro.
He not a model citizen, seem like. I ain't gonna lie, like, if you was to say
Romo did doesn't do.
Far as an example, as a young black quarterback in the league, man, Dak he's that guy. Like, he got pretty much a squeaky clean image. I don't know how you pull it off.
and again, like you said, all these guys you're talking about, they're in Dallas. Like, I don't think people understand how big of a true party city Dallas is. Yeah. And again, like you said, these guys again that you named them, Trey Diggs with his son, Micah with his kid, Dak with SJ and his little girl. Like, even before that, at Rangers games, back at Mississippi State at their games, like,
it's a very boring life for a quarterback.
When you see Dak on social media, either enjoying himself in the context that I just said at a ball game or something like that, or you see him on his platform boosting our foundation. Like, even with these other guys,
doing something charitable.
Yes, when you see Micah, he's doing the same thing. He's on his podcast. He's boosting his sites. They're working in their community. And with social media, all these phones everywhere, trust me, these guys can't walk down the street without somebody doing this.
These boys on eggshells, man.
Yeah, if they were really out here in these streets doing anything, you would hear about it. And that's what I'm saying, bro. They're all models. And that's even going back to Zeke. And I mean, people forget Zeke was drafted at 20 years old. He had that one little incident. And then again, whether you want to say his relationship with Dak, just him growing up or whatever, because he was always with Dak, especially after that incident, that's where that outside leadership comes. That shows maturity, because like you said, Dak is the old head now. So all these guys look up to him. Like I said, when Dak was coming into league, he was following those guys' league, and Witten wasn't going clubbing. Romo wasn't going clubbing. Like, that was dinner at Nick and Sam's, back to the house. So what was our little routine when Dak started? Dinner at Nick and Sam's. You have a few drinks there. Yes, he's back at the house. And like I said, now that's their routine. They might have dinner together once a week. I know he has dinner with his lineman once a week. And then these guys are with their families, and they're at the house.
That's wonderful, man. That's great leadership. Like you said, I really don't think the Cowboys, like West Coast brought up, I don't think they get enough credit for that these days, man. Real talk. Because if you was a long-time Cowboy fan, man, we know we used to be like, oh, Lord, it's summertime. We already feel it coming. Like, somebody finna do something. Like, we like, Lord, just don't let it be too bad. Like, we already know somebody going to jail, somebody getting a charge. It was always something going on in Dallas, and that culture has changed, though. I will give them some credit for that, and that's a great thing to say for Dallas, of course.
Yeah, and you got to remember, like, people be like, oh, this happens on the sidelines. I'd be like, yo, take the cameras off the sidelines. Like, you should be able to cuss your coach out on the sidelines. He should be able to coach you out on the side. That just happens, but it's a professional sports. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's more than just a ring on the line. It's millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? So they should be able to have a safe place where they can have their arguments and stuff like that. Just stop putting the camera on there. You know what I'm saying? But it's like what these dudes do on the outside world Bruh, there's 50 million cameras. If put it like this, if you are at a club with 1,500 people, there's 1,500 cameras, all of 4K. Like everything is recorded. And the
60 of them are pointed to the section that the celebrities in.
exactly.
Yeah.
And think about it, probably more than that. As soon as they recognize it as you, everything is on you. And it's like the fact that the Dallas Cowboys have minimized that and they're still putting out a good product. Like for the most part, like I get it. We didn't win the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? But we're still putting out a high end product like that. That does show a lot to the quality of players that they have in Dallas. And that is the culture that you do want. Yeah, that's the culture that you want in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? We just need to find a way to propel and get past that next step. Hey, before we get out of here, man, Tad, I'm gonna ask you a straight fan question. Straight fan question, man.
Yes,
Straight fan question. We win the Super Bowl 2024, man.
Man, you put me on the spot, bro.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because as a fan, and that's what I tell people all the time. I'm both a fan and a realist. As a fan, you fucking right, we're gonna win the Super Bowl.
Right,
as a realist, we got to
There you
replace
go.
40% of our offensive line, 50% of our backfield. We, even though we got Kendricks as a linebacker, we still got to get younger. Hopefully, Overshawn can come back healthy and strong. But I like I said, man, we still do got 88 out there. We got Cooks. And again, this is going to be Dak's second year with Cooks. We saw how their chemistry started to bend, especially towards the back end of the season. So, like I said, I think Tolbert's going to be a great pickup. Ferguson, too, like the connection, chemistry Ferg has. Ferg is truly going to be the next Kelsey. Like, I don't want to, and I'm talking about because he is real deal with that. Like, Ferg is that guy. Was that guy?
We love Ferg. We love
Ferg. Bro, I love Ferg in Wisconsin. I love Ferg with Dallas, and I love Ferg as a person. That, like, again, another one of the most funniest human beings. Real, like, man, God, one of the
What
boys.
position did you play before you got? What position you played?
Oh, DN. And see, like, and I'll make you laugh real quick because I played DN. I actually finished my senior season with 23 sacks. Like, I got all my little
Okay.
But, you know, I loved women and stuff too much that I messed it up going to college.
You know he was good. That's how you know he was good with those type of problems.
Then when Dak got me around these guys, like, matter of fact, Tyron Crawford texted me today. When he got me around these guys and I'm looking at him like, we played the same position? Yeah, I was never gonna make it. You know, so I'm not even tripping. You know, like I'm glad I told
and Tyrone, a smaller defensive end. He a little smaller. Crawford.
Yeah, exactly. And
he
was in the gym the other day talking about spot me with 315. How many you going for? I'm going for 10. All right, bet. He made me spot him on the tip, and they're gonna jump up talking about your boy done got weak since retirement. I said, man, if you don't get the hell out of my face, bro. What are you talking about? Oh, Tad, I used to do 405. Yes, now you just talking to talk, Tad. Get out of my face, bro.
Yeah, that was interesting what you said about Ferg. Did you get a chance to look at John Stevens Jr., the undrafted guy coming out? He got hurt last year, man. I think he can be a big time piece of this offense if he get a chance.
I may have. What number is he?
49.
He was 49
and 49, right?
Yeah, he got hurt real early. Yeah. And he
like Schoolmarker. I still like Hendershot. Man, we got a lot of tight ends. Like I said, I love Dalton. Like I said, I mean, I see why he went and got his bag. Like I said, because our tight end room is really legit. Like we got some real deal tight ends, and I think we probably need to go back, especially with the lack of the run game that we had last year. Like we need to go back to more of those 2 and 3 tight end sets because.
Oh, you see Schoon taking a jump? That would it sound like.
Who? Schoon? Yes, I see Schoon taking a jump because I think he'll be utilized more in this offense, but. I don't know how big of a jump it will be because I'm telling y'all, if y'all thought Ferg took a leap last year, Ferg's going off pro this year. Like Ferg is going to be
on. Ferg going to go in. I love it.
He has been. I mean, think about the tight ends Dak has had. I mean, you saw he had Witten towards the back end of his career, but how well him and Witten did. You saw how well him and Schultz. I mean, why did I just go blank? What was my boy? Big Jar. Like you saw, like him and Jarwin were there. He got Jarwin paid, and then when Jarwin went down, everybody's like, "Oh, what is Dalton going to do?" And you saw how quick Dak and Dalton connected. I'm telling you, Ferg is one of those guys. When Dak says, "Hey, we're at the house throwing," Ferg is there. Like Ferg is going to be one of the first ones there to show up, one of the last ones to leave. And I'm telling you, like, and I just love his demeanor, everything. Like, you know, like in that playoff game, getting their ass whooped. Ferg had huge catches, touchdown. What did Ferg do? Ferg jumped up, gave the ball to the ref. Like, we're still losing. Let's get back out here and grind. And I just love everything about Ferg. I'm telling y'all, he's gonna be an All-Pro this year.
Hey man, before we get up out of here, because time is of the essence, but I want to say this real quick, man, because I made this. I was always thinking about this. You always see quarterbacks go through this transition, like even Tony Romo, like You saw Tony Romo as a player, a single man, no responsibilities, doing his thing. And when Tony Romo got with Miss Candace, start popping out them babies, man, Tony Romo turned into something else. That's when you start seeing the little.
You hear me? Oh no, I said it already. I said for the determination that my brother had, bro. That my niece. Oh my God!
Talk to me, man. Talk to me, man.
Like my
Folks don't be
niece,
understanding, bro.
I've told everybody that. I said for the way he pushed, like truly the way that man pushed himself. All those times, like I like to, I mean, I know he says it's for his family, so I know I play some role in that, but that's him. Like he pushes himself to the brink of exhaustion because it's for him. He knows the kind of man he wants to be, the kind of player he wants to end up being. And now you hear him when he talks about his daughter. What does he say? Now I have somebody else that I want all the same things I've ever wanted for myself in. So I'm telling y'all, like, bro, I've already said it. Like the fact that she's on this earth now. Yeah, you ask me the Super Bowl question again. I'm sorry. Remind me that I got a niece now named after my mama might add you, and ask me again if my brother gonna win the Super Bowl this year.
You think we win the Super Bowl this year?
Oh yes, sir. And it ends in what number? 2024. I think a 4 is on his chest. I think we just gonna keep like what you say earlier. We got
Manifestation.
Manifested.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I love it. Hey, I absolutely love it, man. We're gonna let you up out of here, but I need you to do me a favor when you talk to your brother, man. I need you to do me a favor, right?
I got you.
Tell him to go back to the bow tie just for this year.
Nah, I like this Dak. I like this Dak. This dark side Dak, bro. We look at a dark side Dak.
Dark side Dak. This dark side.
I think that's what I told everybody, man. Like, cause like one of the like knocks I had on my brother, like the only knock I've ever had on my brother when he first got into the league, was like, man, when he throws the ball, even though it's accurate, it's getting there. It's like you don't leave his hand like it leaves Aaron Rodgers' hand. You don't leave his hand like it leaves these guys' hands. And then he started working with his quarterback coach, John Beck, and all that changed. And I'm telling you, that's when the bow tie got dropped, bro. When he knew I could put this in a window this small. Yeah, now you got to see the tats. You got to see the change.
Yeah,
he's saying it with his chest. Y'all been asking him for 6 years to say it with his chest. Now he's saying it with his chest. So.
I ain't lying. Look, I seen Dak this year. That's why I love the way you said that this offense is him, because it feel like it is. Because I seen Dak. That's a different dude. I see. I've been watching him since he first came out. Like that's a different dude. Dak wearing dark colors now. Like Dak used to be a little more flamboyant with his colors now.
Mm-hmm.
Dak wearing black leather coming up to man. Dak know who he is now, man. That's the guy that's gonna take us where we need to go, man.
Hey, absolutely. Last question, I promise.
Yeah,
Daks in the athleticism. I know there be times where I be like, Dak, why he still run?
Mm-hmm.
Is that? And I don't want you to speak. I do not want you to speak for him.
No,
but I'm just saying, like, do you think the Cowboys limit? We ain't even got time to butter this question up. Do they limit his athleticism at time?
I think they do, but I think he limits it to a bit because I think Dak is truly in a point in his career where he only wants to run when he has to run. And more so because, again, Dak is a quarterback. And that's why I make the fun or poke my fun at Jaylen Hurts with all his rushing, because one of the biggest things that has stuck with me for my entire life, I mean, I'm sure it's all y'all were, we were all big Mike Vick fans, you know?
Hell yeah.
And I remember the interview, and Dak was sitting beside me, and I'm sure it stuck with him that way too. But I remember them asking Mike Vick, what is best? Or what do you have the most fun at? Where is the best for you, throwing or running a touchdown? And Vic said it, man, it's throwing a touchdown. Everybody in the NFL can rush a touchdown. There's only so many of us that can throw one. And I think that's where it goes with Dak.
And on that note, that was gas, man.
I'm glad we got one that can throw and run one.
Yes, sir.
There it is, man. There it is. Well, hey, man, I'm going to tell you this right now. You speak very well for yourself. Man, I don't know. Maybe next year after we figure out what's going on with the contract, we'll start the podcast. But yeah, man, definitely got to get you on air consistently, man, because you definitely got to work. I can only imagine you speaking on real world topics, because they say if you speak sports, you can only speak sports. You got to, shit up.
No, man. I'm good. Educated.
Yeah, man, I see it. I see it. You know what I'm saying? I see it. But hey, man, it's your boy West Coast, man. I want to thank you for coming on here, man. I appreciate you for having this conversation, man. I think it happened in the exact moment it was supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have no national championship game. blocking us or nothing, man. We just are all gas. And I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. We've been on here an hour and 20 minutes, and we still have over 275 people watching, man. So that right there alone tells you where these folks was and where it's at. We got some love, we got some hate because you can't get them without the two. But I just want to thank everybody for watching, man. Tad, where can they follow you at on Instagram or social media?
What am I? I'm at TP First Prescott, but I think my E is with a 3 now, bro. Like I got hacked a few months ago and had to switch everything up, and I don't even have my phone with the shit, as I explained to you. I lost my phone over the weekend, so. But yeah, it's TP, the number one, First Prescott. Please, y'all check in with me, man. West Coast, anytime, bro. This was great. I truly enjoyed it. I forgot. I was supposed to get off this damn thing about 30-something minutes ago. I'm sure my wife is out there fuming, but man, anytime, guys, anytime, I'm always willing and ready to come on.
Landlord, where can they find you at?
Already, man. Landlord from Alabama with the same handle on our social media, man. We appreciate you, Tad, man. There was a great conversation, man. We rooting for you, brother. We want that 6th trophy,
Yes, sir.
and I feel like Dak is super motivated.
Now,
to
before
get
we
it done.
leave, let me ask y'all one more question because I kind of thought about this earlier. So, say this is the last dance. Dak wins the ring. Does he sign or does he leave?
Dak gonna leave if he win that ring. I think Dak out of here. I ain't gonna lie.
I say it like this. It's like what Frank Lucas said when your success takes a shot at you, right? I think Dak is in a precarious situation because I feel like Dak is going to do what Dak does, and that's win you at least 12 to 13 games every season, right? So with that, that's going to get you in the playoffs. It's going to take more than just Dak. It's going to be some luck. Some luck happen and you win a Super Bowl, right? The only thing that sucks is the Dallas Cowboys mentality. The Cowboys mentality says Dak is now too expensive.
Exactly.
Like this, because now you have something that has never happened in the history of modern sports. And this is what people keep on saying. When people keep on saying, oh, we want to win a Super Bowl. You want to win a Super Bowl. Okay, you want to win a Super Bowl, but do you understand you're going to win a Super Bowl and then your quarterback, who will most likely be the MVP of that Super Bowl, because Dak ain't never played in a game where someone else on offense played better than him. That ain't never happened. Mm-hmm. So it's a game that he's winning. He will look like the best player on the field.
Now, time out. Let me ask this question.
Hold on.
Are we talking about this year?
This year.
Okay, go ahead.
This year. He wins that Super Bowl. Now the Dallas Cowboys have to do negotiations with an agent that they've clearly made it obvious that they don't. Because I'm gonna tell you, I believe Derrick Henry didn't get a call because they got the same agent. Hey, call it whatever it is, but I believe that was a big coincidence. They don't want to do deals with his agent. And then secondly, now because you didn't sign the quarterback, you also got to talk to you got to wait for the Saints. You got to wait for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got to work for us. Because my question is, what team doesn't want a Super Bowl champion? What team does? And even like this, if Dak Prescott, and let's not even say he wins the Super Bowl. Let's just say this year. What team doesn't want the second MVP in all the NFL as their starting quarterback, bro?
Real shit.
I just want to ask this: if that was to happen, if Dak won the Super Bowl, right? I feel like Dak could walk in there and say, "Blank check me, just give me what I want," and I feel like the Joneses' ego would be like, "Nah, I'm good.
We're good."
And then this is gonna be like,
that's where I want to go, and that's where I'll go, and I promise I'll leave too, because like I said, I gotta go. But that's where I get, because forget the Super Bowl. Super Bowl be great, but like you said too, West Coast, he's gonna win 13 games. He's 12, 13 games. He's gonna put you in the playoff. So for all these people that keep saying they want Dak going, you're gonna be picking somewhere in the 23
where we are now.
Range.
Yeah.
So that's where I keep asking y'all who y'all gonna replace him, because I keep seeing all this Shedeur Sanders talk, and I'm not bad mouthing Shedeur at all. But if Shedeur is what he's supposed to be coming out, y'all talking about Jerry don't want to pay Dak. Y'all think the Jones is fixing to give up 3 to 4 first round picks to move from 24 to somewhere in the top 5 to land y'all's franchise quarterback?
And then think about this, Tad. Then you will draft a kid that you hope is the guy who you just replace. Because it's like, my question is this: you don't want Shedeur Sanders to be top 3 in completions in the NFL. You don't want him to be top 2 in touchdown percentage. You don't want him to be top 2 in MVP racing. You don't want him to
be praying that he become a Dak Prescott.
Exactly. So it doesn't make sense.
And that's where I get confused with him, because it's like, guys, if Dak ends up leaving for the reason he ends up deciding to leave, and the Joneses don't extend him a contract, and he goes and puts y'all in playoff contention, y'all really think y'all getting a franchise guy in the top? I mean, granted, y'all got a franchise guy in the 4th round, so anything is possible. But to think that you're just fixing to get one at 24, or that the Joneses is fixing to give up so much capital to move in the realm to get one of these top 3 guys that are supposed to come out in that year, like, yeah, like I said, that's when I'm gonna really be curious to see what the messages I get on.
Okay, rapid fire question. Did Dak get robbed for the MVP this year?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I think
Name one other fucking quarterback that don't have a star on his helmet that throws that 37 leading the NFL and don't win it. Again, not to shit on Lamar, because I love Lamar. Lamar has 6 games towards the back of his season where he had 1 touchdown or none and still won all 6 games.
And think about this. Even if Dak doesn't win MVP consolation prize, he should have been Offensive Player of the Year.
Yes, because Dak still had
just got nothing though. How do you get nothing?
And he still had 9 more touchdown passes than Lamar Jackson. I think his completion rate was higher. His yards were more. Everything as far as the quarterback categories go, where you're concerned, Dak beat Lamar. And
we seen Dak have the same season as Aaron Rodgers and didn't even make the Pro Bowl. And Aaron Rodgers won the MVP.
You talking about 16 or 21?
Oh, he did it twice then.
Did it twice.
And Aaron Rodgers won the MVP with the same. Dak threw 37 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers threw 37. They both was like in single digit interceptions, I believe. Yep. And, you know, Dak didn't even make the Pro Bowl. So the hate is real, man. The hate is real.
The hate in Dallas. Oh, trust me, if Dak leaves Dallas, that's the only thing that'll change. Is that in the eyes of Sports Center, FS1s, the Stephen A. Smiths, the Emmanuel Achos, he's all of a sudden a Hall of Famer. He's somebody Dallas should have never let go. He's going to be all these things. And then I just pray for the poor kid, especially if it is Shedeur. Like, I wish nothing but greatness for Shedeur. I think the worst thing for him would be to land in Dallas. Like, oh my God. I know you're from here. I know you won your state championships in Dallas. Your daddy won Super Bowls here. But, bro, you think you just call Dak and ask him what kind of pressure he deals with on a daily basis, and then that's what kind of pressure you would have as a real Cowboy legacy with that name on the back of your jersey.
Man, Stephen Jones is not going to want to deal with Deion Sanders. It's not even forget the field. Forget the field. Like, they didn't even call Derrick Henry was in Austin basically begging. And then it's bad when you have to ask, when your agent tells you, hey, bro, we're going to Baltimore. And you be like, the Cowboys didn't call?
Right.
Call?
He checked.
I got 2 houses and I trained in Dallas. And I didn't even get a call.
Derrick Henry, like, what you mean we going to Baltimore? They didn't even call. His agent, like, bro, let that go. They didn't call.
He hit the dude on TikTok. He like, I'm right here. Like, my house right there.
Well, hey, man, listen, man, I ain't going to get you in trouble because I'm going to tell you this right now, man. Don't have nobody calling. I'm in enough trouble out here, man. We're gonna let you out here, man. We still got over 300 people up in here, man. I'm gonna tell you this right, man. They wanted the content. We gave y'all the content. Hey, let me tell you this. Sometimes the truth is like a lion. If you set it free, it'll defend itself. And that's what we did today. We didn't have to defend the truth because the truth will defend itself, man. If you disagree with it, make a video on it. Other than that, you guys already know what it is. Never look down because the star's up. Peace.